But then if you do the further investigation, you see a lot of times that most of the religions actually are racially connected, or like specifically focused on a racial grouping of people, or even, it's not concerned about the whole humanity. And I think when you do a further investigation, there is even no scripture who claims to be directly like the word of the divine or the creator, except the Quran. So, and then you see a lot of, also when you look at the, logically, if you actually conclude that there should be a creator and it should be one, then you can also already reject other religions too, and also
I get it, but Rahat, when you compare the books, I mean, how do you compare? How do you compare the book?
You have to compare the books with the reality. If you see the book is claiming something and the reality is not concluding with that what the book claims, and you see that the divine, probably maybe it was from the divine, or it got corrupted or
what is reality? What do you mean reality?
Reality as we have today, because if
you're explaining reality in the abstract.
No. If we believe there is a creator who communicated with us, so the same creator who created the universe and our planet and communicated to us a book or a message given to us, so there should be no contradiction in his message and the universe and the heavens and the earth.
I'll explain to you what the word reality means. Reality is the aggregate of all that exists within a system. The aggregate of all that exists within a system.
It's an aggregation. It's an aggregation of everything in the system. That's what reality is.
Everything in the system. Everything in the system. So now,
okay, then I use a different word. I meant creation.
Or is he part of
I meant creation. So the creator, Barf, please. When I said creator communicated with us, basically means that whatever he communicated with us should not contradict his creation. So if he is actually communicating with us and talking about creation, how he created some things and this and that, so we shouldn't find any contradiction.
There's no ontology to the word, the meaning of the law of non-contradiction. You cannot show me a physical contradiction in the world. At the same time, it's not the case. It either is or isn't. That is the law of excluding better.
Yeah, but you don't understand that we are talking about. No. What you don't.
Contradiction.
No.
Not contradiction.
Barf. What you don't understand. Barf. What you don't understand. When the Creator communicated with us, and his communication, let's say there is a claim book about the Creator, and in that book, the Creator tells us that he created whatever, a pink elephant in the sky. And then we see in our creation no pink elephants in the sky, then we know that this claim in the book cannot come from the Creator. That's a contradiction. That's what I meant by a contradiction.
First of all, there is no law of no contradiction or law of contradiction. Barthologist is like a mixologist, philologist, or philosophologist. He just makes shit up. He doesn't read books. He works on construction sites, puts nails in wood, pours concrete, shit like that. He's not a philosopher. He hasn't read 1,000 books, or 10,000 books, or 100,000 books. So my point is, if you gentlemen are such great Muslims and followers of the faith of Islam, what other books have you read outside of Quran?
It's the Bible.
Yeah, I've read passages from the Old Testament, from the New Testament, even in the original Hebrew. Sometimes I went through that. I read some Hindu scriptures, Buddhist scriptures, Also other books which has no meaning or impact in my life. I don't know.
Really? All those books had no impact or meaning on your life? Only the Quran has meaning and impact in your life?
No, I'm saying not much impact in my life. So when I read something about Shakespeare or whatnot, any book from him or books I studied in school or university, so yeah, maybe some had some kind of wisdom here and there, yeah, of course. But main issue for me is my purpose of what is actually going to happen when I die. So this is actually, so I concluded that the Quran is the word.
Are you serious? Your purpose in life is to be alive and live now. Your purpose is not what's going to happen after your death. What matters is what you do today. It doesn't matter what's going to happen when you die.
Yeah, that's what the Quran says. Your life, this life matters. Yeah, that's what the Quran tells you.
Well, I'm glad we settled that. Therefore, there's really no other debate or conversation to be had outside of that. I'm going to go enjoy my day. Good luck, gentlemen.
No, stay for a bit.
Live long and prosper. That's all I have to say. I am complete. I hope I was succinct.
No, stay for a bit. Folks, I want to hear from you.
There's no more debate.
Hours say that they come here in essence because of the low vibration and or to ape out or to be, and I'm offended by that.
I can see that because so lighthearted ribbing and trolling, especially when it's a funny topic, that's like, wow, that's awesome. I really like that. Picking on people because of their quirks, that's kind of funny too. It can go too far, but for the most part, it's fun. But for people to be mad at the world and then come in here while we're having a legitimate discussion and then just Molotov cocktail the conversation because they're feeling petty and spiteful and powerful because we give them platform, that's a lot.
But you do it every day, Monica, so multiple occasions you do it.
I don't think that she does it every day. I don't think she does it.
I didn't ask you what you think.
Obviously, Lan has a chip on his shoulder.
No, I don't.
Apparently,
I just was wondering. It's an observation. There's no chip on the shoulder. It's just an observation.
What do I do?
You come in with a straight face and change the entire flow of the conversation. Maybe even changing the entire subject in itself. You do it all the time. What are you talking about?
When they're talking for 3 hours,
doesn't matter how long one. You just said, "Hey, we're having a serious conversation," and if somebody were to come in and just change the entire conversation, I just find it weird. But you do that, and then your justification
is the betterment of the
room. About it for 3 hours.
It's weird.
Right,
Lan, do you think there's a difference between?
Wait, hold on, Bima. Though, can we do an ISO with Land and I just because it's about me?
Can we do an ISO? No, you can't. I want all three of y'all.
No, you can't have a threesome. Stop it.
Okay, fine.
Oh, this is too funny.
So when a title gets stagnant, when it gets stale, when I see people leaving or complaining in the chat, for the health of the room, I ask, are we ready for a new topic? And most of the time I ask, I don't demand. Actually, I don't demand anything. Unless people are getting uncivil, and then I'll do the mute all, or I'll move the stage. But if people want to continue talking about a topic I'm not interested in, Florida called me out this week on it, rightly, and I just left the room because the velocity of rifle bullets is not something that is like specific or interesting to me. Like that's appealing to you? Awesome. Deciding whether time exists inside or outside of God.
Subscribe now. Subscribe.
Maybe for 30 minutes.
Subscribe now.
But 5 hours, I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna move around. And I can. And you can too. So if you don't like what I'm talking about, but a lot of people in here are, you might want to leave quietly too. So what exactly is your objection to how I navigate Clubhouse?
Subscribe now! Subscribe now!
I was very clear in my objection. I was just noticing how it's cool when you do it, but it's a problem when other people do it. That's all.
No, you're misunderstanding the objections that Bima and I have. We're talking about the flamethrowers. We're talking about people like Cappuccino and Concrete.
I like Cappuccino. I like bullets.
Oh my gosh, are you Cappuccino?
No.
Land, are you Cappuccino? That would make sense. I could see you cosplaying as a middle-aged white man pretending to be a female. That would fit.
No, well, thank you. But no, I'm not that creative. I don't have it in me to stay in character that long. But, I mean, I like him. He's cool. I like Concrete. He's cool. I like talking about guns and bullets. They're cool.
He broke character in for research purposes only this week. Yeah,
really?
For the first time,
Did he talk like a white man or a black man? Because he's black.
He actually only broke long enough for a male giggle to escape, and then he went right back into character. But it was pretty epic. That 1 second of lost composure and laughing at his own joke. It was everything. So I've been trolling Point Taken and asking about her boyfriend that I heard on a replay.
I think that's hilarious. I remember when he first came on the app, he wouldn't stay in character as long as he does now. So I remember. But I mean, he's cool.
And actually, he would have a second.
Monica, land is to character right now.
Yeah, I know. I'm too hard on people.
Except that I don't think Concrete is a flamethrower. I think sometimes the lack of discipline in the room regarding some of the people that are, cause him to react the way that he reacts. It's very annoying when you're having a conversation or you are speaking, and while you are making your submission, somebody will interrupt and say, let me ask you a question, right? Because that person doesn't have the cognitive ability to understand that maybe the next thing he's going to say is going to answer your question, so just wait till he's done speaking. Now, and I will also say this, Nathan, I called him a Caribbean father because we fucking tolerate some of these motherfuckers here that comes in, disrupt the conversation, throw flames, and then he wants to let them do it because of his democratic appeal. I lean toward dictatorship. I don't like when motherfuckers just do whatever the fuck they want to do and then they get a pass. If I was Nathan, I'd be throwing some of these motherfuckers out of the room so fast. Like that girl Chillery yesterday, while we were having a very serious discussion, engaging serious conversation, she derailed the room. She should have been thrown out. Nathan, I love you, my boy, but become a dictator. Become a dictator, please.
So, Matt, listen. Oh, Nathan, do you want to respond?
You could be more.
Thanks. So, Matt, that's my biggest plight right now, is trying to get people to understand. So you have a Clubhouse, right? And it's not even about dictatorship, Matt, right? So you have Clubhouse and you have your little rooms and you have your people who have manifested, these environments. And so that, I view that as private property, right? This is a room that's private property. And so you're not going to be a dictator, right? However, there is the macro and then there's the micro. And so looking in and listening to everybody, it's difficult because you want to, and this is what I'm trying to, Nathan, this is, it's going to come out. It's going to come out. God, forgive me. But I am trying to pull the room more towards this, which is You can, we're anti-censorship, free speech. I love that. You can say whatever you want, but the people that are like that hard derail conversations, they're literally harming everybody in the room by stopping the one purpose that the room is intended to do. And if we all acted like them, we wouldn't have a stage and nobody would be here. Right. And so, but because they know that they can depend on being here because of the hard work that everyone else, Nathan, Knowledge, and their mods put in, they can depend on coming back and coming back. And I feel like they wouldn't have that same energy if they were going into a room that was, had that same level of conversation. They wouldn't act like that because they know they get their asses thrown out. But they, we grow personalities. And my point is that I feel that we're way too in chillism, way too lenient on people that are willing to disrupt conversation when it's a good conversation, because this is why people come here. Let them say whatever. Have your voice be heard, but don't disrupt the conversation.
And you're right. And I will add this caveat. I know last week people were complaining about Florida and his modding style. I actually like the way Florida mod. Why? One, he tends to bring some facts as a moderator, which is good for the conversation. Two, he lets you speak, but he doesn't let you ramble on and on and on. And I think that's good too. He knows when to pull you back and say, okay, you made the point like 6 times already and you need to stop speaking. And I think we need to do more of that. Because some people will come in and then they will speak for like 3 minutes, use big word and say the exact same thing 20 times.
So that might be where, this is where it's difficult because, first, I like Florida's. I have nothing with Florida's, no problem with Florida's modding style either. And when everybody was talking about him and making it seem negative, I thought that was interesting. And Nathan said it best. He said, when we were talking about this the other day, he's just like, you have to know, you have to be able to read the room, you have to be able to flow, because there's different waves of chillism. Sometimes you get, the people that, for example, want to come in here just to ape out, right? But then you have your people that come in here for the real good intellectual discussion, because there's other good minds in the room, and we want to have that discussion. And a lot of times it hinders our ability to grow when when those people are trying to have a real good discussion, and then people are just completely the ape outers want to come in and do their ape out shit when we're trying to have a discussion. So I think that yes, reading the room is good. When people want to talk and let them. You could give them a good nudge, like, hey, wrap it up. I appreciate that. Sometimes people like me, I talk a lot. I know that that's probably because I'm just either not smart enough or I got the tism. People tell me all the time, they criticize me. They're like, you repeat shit too much. You're constantly repeating shit and you talk too long. So I'm trying to fix that. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
No, you're not. You just
good
took
morning
10 minutes
again.
to say
I
one
try to say
little point. Go ahead, Chris.
No, I was just saying good morning to everybody. And I guess we are talking about conversation from the other day, or this is a continuation.
Another one,
We're
a
just
banger.
talking about how people observe when other people do the same thing that they do, how they have a problem with it when other people do it, but they don't have a problem with it when they do it. So we're just holding people accountable for their action.
Got it.
Oh, damn, Monica
So
getting roasted.
as it pertains to who, the mods?
Monica,
Everybody.
Everybody. No one's safe. No one's safe.
Well, Lynn, I didn't know if you wanted to expound on that. I didn't want to just come in and be a centerpiece early this morning, so I'll yield.
Hey, I wouldn't mind looking at that centerpiece. The presentation is perfect. The sound pitch is perfect.
I'm also driving too, but
be safe.
Yeah.
I know these people that drive while they're on Clubhouse. It's a lot of bumps. You just hit a big bump just now.
She might be in Texas.
But I can't understand what you said. What did you say that again? People on Clubhouse while driving is what?
No, you just hit a really big bump there. I hope your car's okay.
A really big what?
Bump, like a pothole or something.
Oh, like I hit a pothole?
Well, he heard a big thud, is what he's saying.
Okay. Well, what I will say, I'm from Philly, so I can drive literally with my foot on the wheel. I'm just that talented as it pertains to driving. But no, I do agree if you all are saying that it is subjective as it pertains to who gets to be in a space and how they conduct themselves in a space. It is.
Everybody.
I mean,
I ain't gonna lie, Kita everybody's favorite DJ.
Yeah, she very much is. Very sweet.
yeah, that's my
Until they
wife.
hit my gas. Period. Until they hit my gas.
Like when I was on my other page, yeah,
Until we hit your gas, what you mean?
It felt weird popping off on you for that little
y'all,
amount of
can we
time.
watch another movie?
Oh Lord, Makita.
Y'all, what kind of movie? And what y'all, we watched a movie. Y'all.
I take medicine for. Hey, Penelope back
Fuck
on
that
my
bitch.
side,
So
y'all.
Penelope already knows.
Don't say that. No.
Me and Penelope.
No.
I told you bipolar shit, bro.
No, but me and Penelope got cool. And I love her. No. Pocket, you don't fuck with her either?
I fuck with Penelope, she just...
Okay, thanks.
Yeah,
at least somebody with me.
Yeah.
What about you, Red?
I ain't got no problem with Penelope.
It makes the room interesting. But I do feel like there needs to be a level of it to balance it out. But those are just my thoughts.
Now, don't let these white women get you saying ape out. They really wanted to say acting like a bunch of monkeys, but they know that it was the wrong time to say that. Right? They just wanted to say monkey out. Right?
Nobody says monkey out. We say chimping out. We say wilding. We say...
In representation of what word?
Leon... Well, Lion says, I hate all of you chimps. That's what Lion says. You have smoke for him? Or just the women?
I'm telling you, Monica, it's just white people.
Yeah.
Black people, like Lamb, no disrespect. They only mad when white people are racist. They give the black racism a pass.
Don't do me like that. I like that. Hold on. No.
That's a great yes, Nathan. Accountability, right? We're holding everyone.
Or like, what does this, is this in effect immediately? Or are y'all still flushing out how to moderate this?
No. This is for entertainment purposes. This is strictly for entertainment purposes. Cooning is allowed here. And white people flirting with the line is allowed here. Just like black people flirting with the line is allowed here. Don't get me wrong. This is strictly for entertainment purposes. This is not how I feel in any way, shape, or form. But I actually love racist people. Black, white, purple racists, blue racists. They don't bother me.
They're your tribe. Why would they bother you?
Yeah, I think I'm speaking. What bothers me is when they act like they're not racist. That's what bothers me. And then they try to insult your intelligence. Like, hey, you said some shit. They're trying to act like you didn't say it. Or you're trying to act like it can't be perceived in another way. Just say you're racist. No, I am not racist. I just like I have a funny sense of humor and I like monkeys.
Yeah, that sounds too much
Like cappuccino.
like cappuccino.
I like the grapes and I just like flying monkeys. And you know, when we come around
I told y'all.
When we come around the flying monkeys, I want you to use the word ape so they don't know what you're talking about.
Lan, tell us that you're going to call the police.
I'm going to call the police right now. But no, I'm not cappuccino.
You are, bro. You are.
That's my boy. Don't get me wrong.
I don't know. Have we seen Land and Cappuccino on the same stage?
Oh, no, we be on stage together all the time. I love Cap.
Next time that happens, we need to have an ISO between them.
No, Lan is not cappuccino. Lan, her name? Cappuccino has more of a raspiness when she talks. Lan just sounds like a man trying to be a woman. The cappuccino is a man trying to be a woman.
Whoa. That's fire.
I like that. Well said. But yeah, nah, that's my boy. But nah, that ain't me. But he cool people.
Well, how did the room go yesterday? Was it a lot of aping happening yesterday?
It was a little out of control for a little while, but it was such a big room. I think it wasn't too much of craziness. It was just a lot of people wanting to talk. I think we had a good room yesterday. It's been a lot of big influx. So, yeah, it's pretty cool.
When I see Weed, I keep forgetting to tell Weed to thank him for making my white PTR.
They're sending some feed pics. He do it for the feed pics, Crystal. They're sending him some feed pics. He does it for the feed pics.
He made me 7 different variations of white women in my back channel. 7.
Oh, that's what's up. 7 toes. That's all you need. 7 toes.
Yeah, I ain't into all of that, but but yeah, I wasn't in the room. I mean, I was in the room, but I wasn't in the room yesterday, so I don't know what the hell y'all. It sounded like y'all were talking about Israel or whatever, but I was barely.
Yeah, it was a good room. I enjoyed it when I was here. It's just trying to get sometimes the bigger rooms under control. Nathan has a great modding style. I try to learn from him as much as I can. I love him. He really knows how to control a room. Knowledge, same. Like, those two are amazing. And then Lady, thank God for Lady. Lady came in. Tally, I don't think Tally was here, because if Tally was here, Tally would have tore it up too. Tally shut shit down. I loved Tally's a great mod. Lady's a great mod. Well, they're all great mods. I'm just saying when it comes to specific, like trying to control the room, you know? So, yeah. I got this book yesterday, and I'm excited about it. It's William James, The Varieties of Religious Experience. I haven't read William James since college.
I thought unless you bought Rosemary's book, like Knowledge did.
Listen, Knowledge yesterday, when he did that, I don't want to say he ceases to amaze me, but I gotta say, I love Knowledge. I love his soul. I actually love
him. It's like 100 degrees in this fucking room right now.
Yep.
I fucking love Knowledge. I love Knowledge too.
Going back to
it's difficult to it's like cat wrangling, right? Great. And you know, like I come into the room different every time I come in because I'm feeling different. Like I'm hungry, I'm tired, I'm sleepy, I'm happy, I'm annoyed, I'm angry, and all those people come in to the room. And then knowing where people are in their life, like Lady was so happy with her move. I'm so happy for her. She was singing and it was so joyful. It was such a pleasure to hear her voice with her move and her a long time coming. They worked super hard for it. It was just a gift. And AWOC bought his house this year, I think, and I was happy for him when that happened. But then at AWOC, he thinks arguing is insulting people, and it diminishes his arguments. So, you know, we have to deal with all those different personalities and where their emotions are on a certain day, and it's complex. And I know, like Matt's description of Nathan as a Caribbean father, that Nathan has favorites, and it's not fair, but it is what it is. And, you know, if you're the prodigal son, concrete, then, you know, I mean, they add value to the room, and they're regulars. And also, concrete can be too much concrete sometimes, and that's his own asphalt. And, you know, smoothing out that pavement is a lot of work sometimes.
Ooh, smooth it out.
But y'all can't be wishy-washy though, because we you know, put concrete on the hot seat. You know, he didn't accept accountability. He basically said, "You guys wanna gaslight me when there's other apish activities that go on, and that Nathan protects certain monkeys, but not all monkeys and apes." And, you know, there's like this like subtle tension between Nathan and Con. So it's levels to this. Like, it's levels.
There's levels to stupidity.
So, I don't know.
There's levels to stupidity.
Yeah, I think that's part of the complexity that is also is exactly what makes it difficult sometimes, because too, you're remembering that
I can't wait.
A lot of the people in this room are regulars, so sometimes the feuds will carry over from a week or a month ago, or you know, however long ago, and we remember 6 months.
This app is
right, and so we remember,
it's like
you know, as individuals, you know, what's going on, and we have a certain thing in our head, but then the rest of the room might see it completely different because they don't have that context. But yeah, so, and I'm not trying to protect concrete. I love concrete. Do you know what I was thinking about? I don't have a problem with, I don't think anybody, I had a problem with Pepe for a while. I really didn't like Pepe, but I've gotten over it. I've learned to get over myself. And I think I could probably thank Nathan for that, because without chillism and being here to have to tolerate it and grow the thick skin and, you know, realize that I'm just a stupid human talking my shit, but also giving me the opportunity to say, oh, wait, there are some adults that can have an adult conversation and hear things that they don't want to hear, and either tolerate it or be, you know, have the big boy pants to just leave. And that's been huge for me. So I can say I have no problem with anybody. I just have an issue with the behavior sometimes at certain points. Just when it's a good discussion and it's flowing solid, and then someone wants to come in and muffle it up. It's just like, no.
This guy.
You know, Nathan is God in this room.
Nathan is God.
And sometimes,
oh, hail Nathan, God of this room.
What I'm trying to realize is that because Nathan is considered God, because he's considered God in this room, you know, God when he does his favor or like his judgment, oftentimes we as, his peasants, it's not always, it's not a favorable judgment. So like, even though he's, the God, he is God in this room, we have to just respect how God, sovereigns over this room. And sometimes it's not always going to be favorable to us as, the peasants. So that's how I look at it.
No, it's interesting. I thought that too for, like when I first started coming. But then I realized that he's actually, this is me, very deliberate. And if I back out and I look at it, I'm just like, oh wait, I can see he's 3D chessing this. I can see the way he does this, because I've wanted to, try to see, because just the way that he runs rooms, and I appreciate it. And I think that it's interesting. I mean, he's created this, so it's like, okay, wait a second. Let's see what made him so special. Let me, super micro analyze what he's doing. So I find that it doesn't seem like it a lot of the times, but so it's interesting. But yeah, I could be wrong about that, obviously, but I don't know. I see a deliberateness stuck deep in there. I'm still trying to the full calculus, though. I'm trying to figure out the secrets.
I think that Nathan is actually the devil in here.
JT.
I'm just playing. Nathan's my guy. Hey, I am curious though. I pop into the room every so often. What's going on with Pepe? I mean, I haven't seen him in a good.
He comes in every once in a while, but yeah, I don't know anything. Anyone else know anything about what's going on with him?
I guess not, man. Yeah, I miss my boy.
Well, I personally don't like PP myself. I don't call him Pepe. I call him PP because he acts like a pussy. But he was in here the other day, dog walking a Nigerian woman.
Yeah. Next time he's in here, you tell him JT asked about him.
Because that's what I'm talking about. Me and you go like, oh my gosh.
I think PP has a little PP, is what I.
Oh, definitely has a little PP.
That's interesting. I didn't even view him as human for a while, so I didn't even think he has genitals.
Well, I have 30 minutes with you all, so what's the mathematics for today?
I'm not sure. Nathan, what's Thursdays?
Tether Thursdays.
I didn't know if it's official or not, but I actually think Thursdays would be a good day to put the house on in a social room, to remind people that they have to mind their manners or they might get kicked out. If they get kicked out, we have to restart the room eventually. But I think that's what's happening with a lot of the regulars. They're getting too comfortable. They know they're unlikely to be removed from the room.
What's up, Monica? What, you in there cooking?
So it should be Tether Tuesdays and throw people out Thursdays.
I don't know. I like Trans Tuesdays. one day my lived experience as a raccoon will be recognized, and I'll be able to mod that.
What the fuck did that dumb bitch just say?
When you take on the persona of a raccoon, like what does that look like?
Oh, I have a bunch of raccoon PTRs. Chillism is known for their raccoon PTR. I like them as much.
Chillism is definitely known for its raccoons. That's that.
But you make it something it's not. You make it seem like it's wrong or bad, and it's weird.
It's a bad thing.
You're gonna tell me that successful people that have adapted into the mainstream culture are tokens, or race traders, or what else? Uncle Tom's. You know, Uncle Tom is the hero of that story. He was amazing. He saved people, their lives, and he sacrificed much. The Harriet Beecher Stowe story contributed to the abolition of slavery.
You're right. You're absolutely 100% right. Uncle Tom was a great man. Yes, he was. But see, I think you have to put the raccoon characteristic into context. It's not just black people who are successful who have assimilated into white society. It's not that. It's something else. It's, black people who...
It's not white society, though. It's not white society, though. I'm sorry, JT.
No, it's
I'm sorry, JT.
Whatever definition you want to use, it's not that. It's black people who undermine black society for their own benefit. So, in other words, a raccoon, what they do is that they parrot the ideologies of the underbelly of white society, which has a white supremacist ideology for their own gain, for their own benefit. Somebody like a Candace Owens or Larry Elder, right, who will come out and undermine black society because he understands or she understands that by doing so, white people are going to benefit them in some way. That's the difference. See, Uncle Tom wasn't like that. He just cared about black people, so he did what he had to do. And I can respect that. But a Candace Owens or a Larry Elder, I can't respect because all they do is pander to white society for butter biscuits. That's quite butter biscuits.
See, now this raccoon thing, applying it to race, I had no idea. I just learned a whole bunch just now. My mind, I live in a little forestry area, so I was thinking about thinking about the little cute raccoons. And I'm thinking about my groundhogs, my chickens. I'm thinking about all these things. So I'm thinking raccoon, I'm thinking an animal, but we're applying it to race. Now, that's weird, Monica. I don't know if I like that.
Yeah, it's really something that really is something prevalent in black culture. It's just kind of a way to, characterize different personalities within black society. I mean, that's not the only characteristics. Like you have the Sambo, right? The Sambo character, who also plays a role. They come out and they do the jig and they entertain. Like there's people on TikTok and Instagram. Like I don't remember the names, but I'm sure there's a guy that you have seen on TikTok, right? It's a big Nigerian dude. He's real buff, Nigerian dude with long hair, and he gets in front of white people and short boy, and he bites, and then he does all this big swole. Now he does all this jiggly. Exactly. And see, these are the type of people, right? White folks look at and they say, "Oh, he's something," but he's really just like it's really just Samboing. It's entertaining for the sake of white people. And back in the day, you used to have guys like that. I can't remember this guy's name in history. And it's probably gonna come to me as I'm talking about it. But he used to white folks used to put him on screen, and what, and then he'd be bucking his eyes, and black people hated him. But he made a living. He made his whole career making movies that were kind of degrading to black people. And white people liked it because, like, he fit all the stereotypes of what they thought about, slow, ignorant black people. And, you have people now who have done the same thing in 2024, where they make a living, living out the stereotypes that white folks see. And so that's why we call certain people coons, certain people Sambos, because in our own way, it's our way of ostracizing those people from our communities. We don't have the power to, delineate away from them. We wish we did, but we simply don't, because we know that white society is going to prop them up in the same way that they've always done. They prop those characters up and say, look, when they can all look at him and laugh at him, that they'll benefit. They'll give them some type of benefit for doing that, for being that Sambo hopping around and tap dancing for their own entertainment and laughter.
Would you consider Tyler Perry a Sambo, JT?
No, Tyler Perry.
Why not?
He's not a Sambo.
Why not?
Well, because I think that what Tyler Perry does is he does hurt the black community in some ways, in particular black men. But what he's trying to do is he's trying to tell the story, right, of what takes place sometime in the black community, which is good, which is fair, because there are some problems in the black community, and people who talk about it, like we have a lot of issues in the black community. I don't think that's a secret to anybody. But here's the problem, that's a lot, right? When we talk about our issues among each other, that's perfectly fine, because at the end of the day, we can look at these situations and know these are things that we have to work on as a community, and everybody love each other, and so we're going to do our best to try to make those things happen. The problem is that when you try to highlight those things in front of white people, not all white people, obviously, but there's a contingency of white people who are going to take those things and they're going to use those things against you and say, see, this is why this is okay to do, or this is why I say these things about these people, or I feel these type of ways. Tyler Perry is trying to tell his story of his experiences in the black community. Right, and if it was just us watching those things, it really wouldn't be a problem. But because
I wanted to touch on, because you got to a good point. But the reason I feel like Tyler Perry is a Sambo, because he hasn't picked up 50 Cent or anybody else's series and put them on BET. He just put hit on BET. You don't do nothing for nobody else that has series and shit that are performing well. And that's why I say he just preaches a specific narrative.
Do you know where his property is? His studios are?
Yeah.
Do you know the history of the property?
Yeah, it used to be a military base. Mm-hmm.
Confederate military base.
Mm-hmm.
He also employs a lot of people too, right?
But he employs a lot of people. But let me reiterate my statement. He doesn't help other people that are doing the same thing.
He doesn't help people that Land thinks he should help. And because he doesn't help the
Monica,
people
please,
that Land thinks he should help.
You don't know what the fuck. You don't know
I know what the fuck that everybody ignored Louis Armstrong. What about Louis Armstrong? Where does he fit in your pantheon?
But here's the point. Here's the point that I'm making. I'm going to drive it home again. All I'm simply saying is I would not consider him Sambo if he was helping others do the same thing he's trying to do. That's all I'm saying.
Every day,
but I think
all day.
that's borderline. I would say this though.
I want to finish this.
They're morons.
That's what I wanted to have this
Congratulations! I'm
conversation
filming Dinner for
with
Schmucks, the
JT
movie.
because what he said, like,
You're watching
it
the
actually hit me a
exclusive
different
Dinner
way.
for
Yeah, so you said you wouldn't consider Tyler Perry a Sambo. But I would. I think because like what Lan was saying is that, you know, he always makes like productions that paint Black people, not just Black men, Black people in a negative light. And that's for everybody to consume, not just Black people, right? White people eat that shit up. And so, but like, yeah, but I would ask you, if you don't consider him a Sambo then, for your reasons that you stated, would you consider him
Samboing? Okay, we're going
to today. What are you talking about? Just send an invite, Courtney.
I did.
All right.
Hey, Sean. What up, bro? Charlotte, what's going on, bro? Hey, no, I'm not an OT only. I am a Moses only Israelite. I only yield to Exodus 20 to Deuteronomy 34. What do I mean by that? I mean that every single Israelite in the Bible has that same position because every Israelite has to keep the commandments. That's all I mean when I say that. Now, when we have biblical conversations, what I don't do is I don't let other people's wisdom influence my understanding on the laws. I don't. The law is what it is because why? Deuteronomy 12:32 says, thou shalt not add or diminish. That's why I have the position to make clear. Yes, I have faith in Jesus. Yes, I know he really existed. Yes, I return and Christ return. Now, we may differ on understandings on that because I don't believe Jesus is coming back. Now, if I have had the space to have that conversation in a different room, that'd be a great topic. Right now, I want to talk about Leviticus 5:3. You already said being ceremonial unclean, but when you mosey on down to verse 17, it's going to teach that you're going to bear your iniquity. I want to know what iniquity that is, because then when you understand that that means that you sin to be sin, like the first word in Leviticus.
Tell you that he is, because you don't have a way of knowing this, so you just take it on faith that he is. Absent any actions, you would just be, it's because he's like very powerful and he tells you this loudly and repeatedly. Right? Well, remember, he doesn't that you don't have any.
You know, this designed humans intelligently, but I don't know if we need to call it God. God is a metaphor for many things: love, understanding, kindness, justice. Right? It can be used in many ways. Humans use God as a different way of conveying the forces that act between humans and the ones that we want to promote, the ones that we want to follow, rather than the ones that are acting in our destruction or hindering our well-being.
That's what I'm said early. That God is not defined. So you can perceive God as many ways as you can. So he is basically unknown. That's why there is so many interpretations.
Okay, but what about me?
That's the way you like.
You know, you brought up some of the perfections of the world.
Say that she only is a race.
Gotta say, Monica's actually probably the best, one of the best voices on
Hates
Clubhouse.
the good that she does, and people should know about it.
No, that's fair, Monica. That's fair.
But to JT's point, I think I do agree with him with his assessment of Tyler Perry and his artistry. The only critique that I will apply is the fact that there's a lack of variety in the storytelling, where I would hope and wish that Tyler Perry will engage in the kind of biopic stories of famous Black people that have helped this country. Because I do think that he is in a unique position now where he can start changing the story in the way that we tell Black story, in the way that we inform people. Because movies, media does that a lot. It gives us a perception of things that are, even if they're not really, gives us a perception. This is why we think of, I don't know, the Roman Empire being the greatest empire, is because they make a lot of movie about it that said so. And I do think that he needs to venture into that realm so that he can balance out his portfolios of movie where the criticism is valid, where he is, overtly, detrimental to the Black community in his film. But I think he needs to balance that out with a different aspect as well. That's the only critique I have for Tyler Perry. Outside of that, I think he's doing an amazing job. He employs a lot of Black people. He's putting Black people in the forefront that wouldn't otherwise be in the forefront.
But he's putting Black people in the forefront.
And if you don't know Louis Armstrong's story, I invite you to check out Louis Armstrong's story, because he's done more for civil rights and desegregation than any of the leaders of the Black Lives Matter movement, and it's not even debatable. Go ahead.
Can
I interrupted somebody to get the sentence out. Whoever was speaking, please continue.
This is Mr. Fix-It. I wanted to comment on the Tyler Perry analogy. I've done some work in the entertainment industry, and I'll say this, that, Tyler Perry's ability to come from where he did and be able to build a production studio is an achievement. 50 Cent's ability to come from where he comes from and be able to build a whole line of movie series on Stars is an achievement. Every one of those persons, and Ice Cube also, have done a lot of great things in that space. And it shouldn't be a monolith of whether or not these people can work together in a professional space. I have no comment in that space if they ever have. But I'll say that if they could do it as individuals, they could continue to do what they're doing, and they're all doing it in their own way. And in what we tend to do, even in business, is the same thing. As opposed to finding out the how, people always talk about that the fact that they live in the projects. They never speak about how they get out the projects, and those are the stories we want to hear. 50 Cent got out the hood. Tyler Perry got out the hood. Wherever it is in your head that you're stuck, can't find your way out, you have your own key to your own door. So I don't find Tyler Perry to be a coon, because I see him as a businessman, being a self-sufficient, Black-owned business, hiring their own people, telling his story, and that's his story to tell, his trauma to visit, and his trauma to deal with. Just like 50 Cent tend to tell stories around his environment and how he grew up. And that's what we should be expecting from people, to be their authentic self. So to add to that, one of the things that is missing in business is that we don't value those differences and even value more the disagreements. So we could stay in those same rooms, disagree with each other, be respectful of each other, and continue to work with each other. So I don't want them working together, forcing a fake relationship. It's better to become authentic so that when they do something, it's more impactful. And I land in that way of saying we need more of those people blazing their own trails in your own way and not feeling the need to hold up the whole community while you as an individual could only do what you could only do. Tyler Perry and all of them are doing a great job of what they're doing. I'll pause right there.
I wonder why there is, this whole notion about being a coon in the Black community. I don't know that there's an equivalent in the white community, the Hispanic community, the Asian community. I mean, how many other communities seem to be so guarded and work so hard to gatekeep, the Black culture that seems to celebrate, ostracizing people who are successful, like you'll be called out for embracing white culture or race traitor, sellout, anyone who tries to be successful it's called a coon, a sellout, race traitor, and I don't see that in other communities, and I don't know why that is.
Brian, I know why.
Okay, I got this one.
Let a black person answer that
Hold on a minute.
I'm going to stop talking after I make this final submission, I promise, because I have to go.
I'll go ahead.
Can the black person answer that question, Monica?
We were talking about other communities.
Let me ask you, Malcolm. Let me ask you if what I'm going to say is wrong. Okay? So it's been my observation that it's a survival mechanism. That because of the history in the country, trust comes sparingly. And if they are finding someone who's too comfortable, and I don't think it's whiteness, I think it's Western civilization, then they look at them and they're like, are you going to betray and hurt me in the future? Are you worthy of my friendship and affection? Because look at you and look at me, and we are very different. All right, Nicholas, and then Malcolm.
Damn,
you guys have
Monica did a good job with that response. She's been on Clubhouse way too long. But anyways, that was pretty much what I was gonna say. I do think that there is a whole historical context difference. Malcolm, come on, bro. Let me land, okay? There's a difference between the history of people in this country and what they went through if you're black versus for example, Latinos, we give you the no sapo Mexicans who want to assimilate so bad shit, but it's not to the same level of the animosity that black people do to conservative blacks because they view them as a threat. And I think it makes sense. Black people have historically had to stick together to survive and do well in this country. Whereas we pretty much, Latinos have just, after 2 generations, we've low-key quickly assimilated and moved relatively well up the ladder. We're not where we need to be yet, but we are, we're still doing okay, And the second thing I was going to say was with regards to, I think our historical context, I think there's kind of pressure in the Latino community to not be as aggressive because we are guests in this country a lot of times, right? We can't really complain about a lot of things that Black Americans complain because my parents chose to move here. They weren't dragged here in chains, So anyways, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's a good word, Nick. And Monica, that wasn't a bad response. Monica, a question for you, but I want to first answer Brian's question. But a question for you, if you could please outline the great civil rights achievements of the great jazz player, Louis Armstrong. I'd love to hear it. Brian, the difference between Africans in America and these other groups, particularly European Americans, in relation to us is power. European Americans don't have to coon with black people because we have nothing to give them. The so-called coon, which is a foolish term, is the person not just so-called selling you out. They're elevated in their status, in their relationship to power by behaving a certain way. If Monica or any European American in this room behaves a certain way, they don't get elevated. I can't elevate them. Tyler Perry can't elevate them. You know how people always say money equals power? African-American entertainers should be the ultimate proof of the foolishness of that concept without context. Tyler Perry has no power. Oprah Winfrey, $1 billion. No power. A local mayor has more power than all these athletes combined. So what happens to the notion of you got plenty of power? You don't. The so-called coon is a person capitulating to please a powerful group of people to elevate his or herself, and they do it at the expense. Because remember, the so-called first coons are European Americans and so-called blackface. So these other ethnic groups, one of the biggest difference between us and every other ethnic group is we challenge, when we get positions of power, how America is run. If